Hey everybody, it's Matt Shares, CEO of SBI. I'm here for another week from the Revenue Growth Help Desk as we all navigate through uncharted waters. And I'm really pleased to have a special guest with me, somebody who I've gotten to know really well over the past almost 10 years, which is Jeff Ray from Brightcove. So Jeff, great to see you. I'm in Arizona, you're in Florida, but it feels like we're side by side.
We are. That's the power of video.
Yeah. So Jeff, maybe as a way of getting started, for those that aren't familiar with Brightcove, why don't you just talk a little bit about Brightcove, and also I think just your history as a CEO, because you've navigated through disruptions of this size more so than probably most of the folks who are CEOs that watch and listen to this show.
Yep, I'd be happy to. Well, Brightcove, we're a public company. Our specialty is video over the web. We've been doing it for about 15 years. About 2% of the global web traffic is actually video that our customers are putting up. So we have a big impact literally on global web traffic. We run to the 5 nines of uptime. So that means less than 4 minutes a year of downtime. Live scale, 80,000 up to 3.5 million viewers in about 25 minutes time. And we've run events with as many as 14 million concurrent viewers. And you would certainly know most of our customers, major media companies, but also commercial enterprises that are doing a better job of connecting with their constituents via video. We have a very strong belief that telling stories is what connects us. Yep. That we've been telling them in many ways over the centuries. The printing press certainly revolutionized storytelling. Today, all of us have in our hands the most powerful storytelling medium in the world, and that's video. And so we feel honored to be able to participate in the revolution with video. For me personally, this is not my first gig. I used to be with a tech company called Ellucian, higher ed tech company, very, very successful business. Actually, as a result of that, when we sold the business, I retired. But after 9 months, I was going crazy. I don't golf and I don't fish. And I know I live in Florida, but I just missed working with great businesses. And so I'm back at it and loving it. And before that, several other tech companies, a couple of other CEO roles, started my career with IBM many years ago.
Wonderful. Well, Jeff, it's always great to see you and talk to you. I've had the good fortune of leaning on you both as a mentor, but also as somebody who's been fortunate enough to find a need for SBI from time to time. So I always appreciate that. You and I are going to cover a couple topics today that, as we looked at the feedback we were getting on our Revenue Growth Help Desk and people asking questions, so we try to be market-based, and you were kind enough to volunteer your time. So first off, I appreciate it. So I guess one of the big questions we're getting right now from our peers, other CEOs, is how do I think about running the business and the day-to-day when the day-to-day is disrupted versus what other things should I be doing with this kind of chance of a lifetime where maybe my team might be a little more stationary, might be a little more dormant, but they're not under my roof. So you and I are going to have that conversation. So maybe as a way of getting started, I guess, Jeff, how has the Brightcove team reacted? And if there were maybe a couple of things that you're doing that you think are working well, maybe we could start with that, and then I'll hit you with a couple more questions.
Sure, I'm happy to do that. I am in awe of our team and how they're responding to this. It was several weeks ago that we did a trial work from home for a day. It turned out to be very, very successful. We had one challenge with one of our labs in Europe that does some very unique things with video, and it was very hard for them to replicate their testing environment in their homes. Mm-hmm. And so we found a workaround. We literally set up some cameras, live stream cameras into the lab, and so people could actually virtually test. Very, very resourceful. But I think more than anything, I'm impressed with how people see this as a call to action. And it's actually a great opportunity for us to unite. For the first time, we're all facing a common enemy, and that should be an opportunity as a call to action to unite, not to divide and separate. That being said, I think if there's any key message I can deliver to any leader right now more than anything, it's the importance of communications. I post videos to my team. We're a video company, but I post videos to our team pretty regularly. We encourage others to do the same. People are doing virtual video cocktail parties, sing-alongs, all sorts of various things that people are doing that are maintaining the connection. The other thing I'd be very, very strongly want to impress upon leaders, please don't assume for a moment that because your people are at home trying to work, that they're not working hard all the time. The fact is that they are most likely putting in more hours than they did before. There's no more commute. It's easy, even at 8 or 9 at night, to jump in and check things out. I promise you, they're working harder than they ever have before. And then finally, think carefully about the kind of messaging that you want to deliver to your people. I sent a message out to my team a few days ago, and there were several bullets that I put in the message. First, this is not normal. None of us have ever been in this kind of situation before, and so we should all accept the fact that we're learning along the way. We don't know what the future holds, but we all have that in common. And let's just recognize the fact that we're going to make mistakes. We pick each other up and we keep going. Second, and this is probably the most important, you must assume positive intent. It's harder to communicate now than ever before. And so you're dealing with snippets of text messages, emails, maybe video, but you're not getting the entire story. It is so critical that you must assume positive intent from one another. Don't read things into it. Empathy, empathy, empathy. Assume positive intent. Next is flexibility. How you work is less important than the impact you're having on the organization. One of our terrific managers, she's in a tough position right now. She's virtually a single mom. Her husband is kind of stranded on the West Coast for a variety of reasons. And she's trying to figure out how to do the demands of her job and take care of their 8-year-old daughter. And her boss did a great job of saying, look, if you need to be with your daughter in the morning, be with your daughter in the morning. Work in the afternoon and into the evening, or vice versa. Don't worry about it. How you work is less important than the impact on the organization. Next, over communicate, of course. Next, as a leader, be honest. It's okay to tell people that you don't know everything, that we're all going to figure this out together. They will appreciate that authenticity. And give everybody an opportunity to have a sense of self-control. I think that feedback was very, very powerful. Our employees really appreciated it, and we just keep reminding ourselves of those.
Jeff, so a lot of good learnings, and as I was scribbling down notes myself, I will be taking this to my regular Friday all hands. I guess one thing I would follow up on around positive intent is also, because there's unprecedented opportunity maybe where people can be working on different things, right? I run a consulting firm. People can't travel, right? So certain projects have been disrupted. We can't be on site. So I have more people that can kind of work on the business and on new ideas and innovation than I've ever had in 13 years of FBI. So do you have any advice, I guess, for the other CEOs or executives that are watching? Like, have you started subcommittees, work teams? Are there like design principles that you're operating with internally, Jeff, as you run the business?
It's all ad hoc, but absolutely. Events force actions. And this event has caused us to rethink some of our offerings. Again, we do video, and video has never been more important at this time. And so I'm impressed. The team and the cross-functional team, sales, product management, engineering, legal, finance, all got together virtually and said, what more can we be doing for our customers at this time? And within 24 hours, we had a new offering out there that anyone can take advantage of. It's free. It's 50 hours of live streaming to up to 10,000 people, and the services to help companies do that. In normal times, that would have taken us, even an agile company like us, a month or two to work out. They got it done in 24 hours. And in fact, we'll be releasing a couple of additional products and offerings next week that I'm not allowed to talk about. But again, just rapid turnaround because people just got on the phone and they worked things out via video, and they just got things done in parallel. So I'm seeing just incredible, spurts of inspiration and productivity.
And Jeff, so if that was the innovation stream I would take as Melissa and I were looking and aggregating the feedback. So I like that. So I heard cross-functional collaboration, right? Everybody getting together and asking some of those questions like, what can we be doing differently? A second one that people asked about that I would be curious to get your advice on is around employee development. Like, people always have ambitious development plans that they're like, oh, I just don't have time to read that book or watch those TED Talks or do an online course or whatever. Any thoughts from your HR team or people development on tracks around that?
Of course, absolutely. It's a great lead in. It's a great opportunity for us to spend better time. And again, we do it via video. Anyone can. One-on-ones with people, and you've got for the first time, there's something that we all have in common, right? How are you doing? How's the health of your family? We're all in meetings where the dog runs on the back, behind you, or the neighbor fires up the chainsaw. It's just the way it is. We're actually getting to know one another's kids and dogs better, and that human connection actually makes it easier for us to have the discussion with the individual about, let's talk about your goals and aspirations, near term, long term, and what you need to do to get there. I think there's more authentic talking happening now than ever before, and it would be a shame for us as leaders to miss that window of opportunity.
Wonderful. Okay, and then the third one, which probably leads into, I know just because we've spoken, what you all are doing for your customers, but I almost probably expand the circle, Jeff, and I'm seeing a lot of people asking about like community, whether they think about their former customers, followers of content, et cetera, like how do they help the community? So I want to spend some time on this, and I know that you didn't want to talk about your technology, but I'm such a fan of your technology because it's actually solving problems for so many people. Can you talk a little bit about, I guess, the community aspect of what Brightcove is doing? And then maybe we'll talk a little bit about, because a lot of people are stuck. They're struggling with how to work virtually. So all kidding aside, your technology truly is moment in time. It's saving people a lot of angst. So can you talk a little bit about that?
Sure. I would suggest, and that this is a little bit of a plug for us, but it's also for other technologies. I think there are 5 really important ways that we can connect right now, and we as leaders need to be paying attention to all 5 of those. Number 1 is events. All of us run some kind of event. We have an annual event called Play, and we just canceled it, and it will now be a virtual event. It actually turned out to be an exciting call to action because we came up with a lot of other very clever ways to connect with even more people. As a result, our virtual event will have better user interaction. We can scale. It will be much, much more reliable. And we will get very good metrics back on sentiment. It's very easy to get feedback, questions posted, chats, and things like that. You cannot do that if you have 800 or 900 people in a room and there's a keynote speaker. So we're actually going to be able to have, I think, a more intimate experience with the participants. What's amazing is that we're, I think, about 7 days into having announced this, and we already have almost as many people signed up for the virtual event, customers signed up for the virtual event, as we had customers attend the actual physical event last year. So events. You can do them virtually. We can help you with that. Other companies can. Absolutely great call to action. Number 2 is social media, to your point, and reaching the community. And the only thing I would stress here is the importance and power of storytelling. Find ways to share your stories with others to the community, and it will resonate with the right people. It's authentic and it's genuine.
Yep.
Next is for sales and marketing. We do great business with digital marketers. The facts are very clear that when you present your product or service in a video form and maybe having someone actually using it or experiencing it, your attach rates are 80 to 90% higher. Rakuten, for example, in Japan uses our technology for videos for their millions of merchants, and they know exactly what kind of traction they get when their merchants use videos instead of just words, text, or images. So digital marketers really get this. Next is customer communications with video. We're doing a lot more reaching out to our customers with video, and they love it. They're in the same position we are. They are stuck at home, and they are eager to connect with other people. I and the head of sales were on the phone last week with 2 customers in Mexico, and even though it was a tough situation, I think they were just grateful that they actually got to see someone and talk to someone. So don't underestimate the power of connecting to your customers with video. And then finally, internal communications. This is a blatant plug. Next week, we'll be announcing a new product called Engage. We've been using it internally for the last 3 months. Think about having your own Netflix channel for your own employees, where you have all sorts of different kinds of videos for different genres and different interests. Easy to post, easy for anyone to be able to access with any kind of mobile device. And that goes live next week. A very, very powerful way to communicate. It's how we've been communicating inside the company for the last 2.5 months. We ate our dog food first. We like it, and so that goes live. So a lot to cover: events, social, sales and marketing, customer contacts, and internal. If we do all that, we're going to get through this, and we're going to stay very busy and come out a lot stronger.
Yeah, well, I think that's probably as we finish up, Jeff. So love those 5, and I think you gave it exactly what I knew you would, which is a very action-oriented, step-by-step approach that others can implement. And I've had that benefit of being around you. So I think as we finish up, I want to first off say thank you, and then maybe key on one final point that you said just around authenticity, is that the importance of all of us to, like, we don't know, right? And I think you make that point, and people are putting out a lot of different things, and it's hard to, because especially in our roles, you want to give off the, it's going to be okay, but there is no magic crystal ball. So I guess big, huge thank you from the SBI community and our firm for taking the time that you did, the thoughtfulness, as I knew you would, but you really helped answer some key questions that we were getting over the past 7 days.
Oh, thanks, Matt. I appreciate it. I think about one of our board members told me a story recently of a former British Prime Minister speaking to a group of students at Oxford, and one of the students at the end of his presentation raised his hand and said, "Sir, what does it take to be a great leader? What drives great leadership?" And his answer was simple. He said, events. Events drive great leadership. So all of us have this exceptional event, and it's a great opportunity to bring the best out in all of us. Enjoy the ride.
I love it. Great to see you, my friend, and we'll talk to you soon.
Thanks, buddy. Thanks for all the good work you and your team do.
Thanks, Jeff. And to everybody else out there, as my friend Jeff said, stay safe, stay authentic, and keep leaning into each other. Until next time.